Namato Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello everyone, good evening. So today is Thursday the 4th of June 2020. This is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center. As usual, every evening UK time, I am with you. Hi Margaret, hi Colin, hi David, hi Rose, hi everyone. So this is a online program I've been doing for over 2 months now, and thank you everyone, those who are following almost every day and listening and practicing meditation afterwards, and also all the feedbacks and questions that also kept me going and coming on online and speaking with you in different topics, most of them based on your questions and your feedbacks, and others are basically as the environment and situation led me, and some also came from the scriptures and what I was reflecting. Hi Urmila from Sikkim. Oh, Suresh from Nepal. Hi everyone. Hi Manish. So in Nepal, I hope Suresh and everyone is doing well. Urmila Gurungji in Sikkim. I never been to Sikkim, but maybe one day in the future I will visit. So this is our online Dharma talk, and also followed by the chanting, evening chanting, and the blessings and guided meditation. So over the period of this 2 months time, significantly a few members have developed the practice and also developed understanding of the Buddhist principles to deal with the family, deal with the this pandemic, and deal with the different situations. I feel very grateful and honor that I am also part of your changes, and also part of your happiness and patience, ability to deal with your children's or family matters, or even with this difficult time. So I feel very honored and grateful, and also on top of that I would like to express my gratitude and appreciation for all the feedbacks that you have posted me on Messenger or even the comments. So Sanjay from Mumbai, okay. So thank you for watching. So this is another night that we are here with the different subjects, and before going into any other subjects, I would like to just thank you in particular to Simone from Italy, I presume. He texted me yesterday saying that how grateful for following this talks and guided meditation that helped to deal his anxiety and stress, and to be able to help dealing with the family matters, and listening to the different talks in different subjects to help and deal, also helping him quite a bit, and feeling more happier and ability to deal with his anxiety. So that is a good story to hear, and I feel really glad I'm glad that some the talks have made some changes in his life and become more happier and ability to deal with the children and family matters. So I really am glad to hear that, and I wish you, as well as those who are listening and those who got a benefit from the talks, also continue listening and continue practicing. I believe that it will again give you more understanding and ability to deal with the different situations. So continue listening Dhammas and continue practicing. And as the Buddha said, practice makes perfect. So and anything, it doesn't matter what we do, all comes under the practice. If we are practicing, then definitely we know how it works. I've been reflecting that about driving in terms of the practice, that first we learn theory texts, so we have to read all the theory lessons and working out what it is and how many miles or how to brake and things. And after going through the theories for so many weeks, finally we take theory tests. And after theory tests, we go to a practical driving. And when we realize that the very first day when we go to the practical theory test, all the hands are shaking, body shakes, and your minds are shaking, unable to concentrate and unable to deal with how to drive, And when instructor instructs us to be ever mindful of all the maneuvers, mirrors, and changing the gears, and so, and it's like, whoa, what's going on, and how on earth I can do that? It's impossible, kind of that. But we have this motivation to practice. And although it was just a 1 hour drive, when you do the lessons, again, once a week you're doing 1 hour. So gradually every week you develop the skills, and you gradually understand that it is possible. You can watch the meters, and you can meantime you can change the gear, and you can use the paddles. So this is possible. You become more mindful, and as you become mindful, and gradually driving becomes so comfortable, and driving becomes so automatic, and you will be able to function these maneuvers without even thinking that what should I do first. Immediately whatever arises at front of the car, you immediately able to change the gear, you able to slow down, you're able to brake, and even watching the mirrors, and sometimes even listening the talks or listening radios or the songs. It doesn't bother at all, because you become skilled in that. So that's why when we are learning about Buddhism, we read a lot of books, and a lot of even in terms of the meditation, we read books on a meditation, and we listen to talks a lot on a meditation. But listening and reading is not enough, and when we apply practically in our day-to-day life, or sparing a time and practicing properly, then we gradually understand that where we need to put more efforts and what need to take it away, and gradually we develop that skill. Slowly, it's like once a week, 1 hour a week, you're practicing driving lessons. So you also develop this skill from bit by bit. So that's why it is not how many hours you practice, but the definite time that you have allocated and practicing in accordance with it defines the progress, defines the how much you are going to get out of it. So the practice again gradually makes you perfect. So that's all the talks that you are listening, and particularly this pandemic time, most of the talks that I have given based on your questions, and as well as how to deal during this pandemic. So if you have listened it and then applied into your day-to-day life, you could have, or would have seen the benefit and seen how it made a difference in your life and as well as those surroundings with you, and how to deal with this particular this lockdown time. And if you remember, there are so many talks that I have given, or in guided meditations, that it's more of like helping you to live with this pandemic time, with yourself, and so it's a great opportunity that you can use this time for the spiritual development, and gain knowledge and gain control over your own mind, and on yourself, and knowing your own self, understanding yourself. So this is the great opportunity to develop this. Although we are coming to the end of this so-called pandemic, or hopefully this is coming to the end, but again we still have plenty of time that we can use this time to understand ourselves, to understand who we really are, what we really need, what am I, what I should be doing. And I've been reading some articles that after this pandemic, there will be a significant number of people finding their new hobbies and also new careers. And that's simply because they've been contemplating on themselves, and as well as appreciating how much they take granted from everyone, even the family members, or the staffs, or the company, or the services, or even the government. So it generates more appreciation, and also will be more compassionate and expression of the gratitude towards every family members, and as well as those who are related, particularly in health and policing, and even the government sides as well. So this is what I think I would like to add on from what I was reading from Simone's feedback, that quite I was quite very happy to hear that talks been helping him to deal with this situation. And today also I was especially asked to speak on the precepts, particularly precept number 1, and that is not killing any beings or harming any beings. And before going into that first precepts, I just want to recap that the 5 precepts are known as the Panchasila, or the 5 precepts is the foundation for the moral practice, and it is a universal, and also it doesn't matter who practices these 5 precepts. Almost every religion or faith groups has got it, and they are practicing it, whether they call it a precepts or not, but in different forms. These 5 precepts is practiced in every faith and religion. But here in the Buddhist practice in particular, we emphasize more on the practice of 5 precepts, and we encourage all the Buddhists as well as those who are studying Buddhism to practice the 5 precepts. And again, this 5 precepts is not like a commandment or the rules that you must practice as other religion or the faith imposed on someone, the rules that must practice. In Buddhism, these precepts are simply a training ground, training your mind, and training yourself not to committing these killings or stealings or sexual misconduct or lying or taking any substance that clouds mind. So that's why these 5 precepts are simply a training or abstaining from committing these, but being mindful. So mindful of every action that one takes. There's a beautiful simile given that if a person who hasn't got clothes or new clothes, but it's all the clothes been teared, there's holes and not repaired, and the person hasn't got sufficient fund or money to buy any new clothes, then the question is, would he wear that old clothes, or saying that this is old clothes, I'm not going to wear it, but I will go naked? So I presume, and everyone knows and everyone will do, that rather than going naked on the streets, we better will wear the old this patched or holes cloth. At least it can prevent, or it can cover the objects that makes shame or feel of shame. So wearing that, at least we can feel some form of a security, and that is the same with the practice of 5 precepts too. So 5 precepts, although there are 5 precepts, and so these 5 precepts are not to kill or harm any beings, or they're simply abstaining. Observe the abstaining precept. Observe the abstaining precept. So training the rule, observe the abstaining from killing and harming any beings. That's the first one. So observe the training not to steal. Observe the training not to misconduct, sexual misconduct. Observe to train not to lie, and observe the training not to take any substance that clouds our mind. So these are, again, these 5 precepts that basically are a training ground. And here in the trainings, as I gave a simile of this old clothes, if we can have a full, complete without any holes, the cloth will be beautiful, and the beautiful clothes, if we wear it, then it becomes handsome or beautiful or elegant. But if it's already broken and old, it is not. So practice of a sila also like that. If we are practicing properly, and if we are observing the sila properly without breaking, without violating any of that silas or precepts, that simply we are adorned with the beautiful clothes. But the very moment when we break one of these, then it's like we are wearing old clothes, and it's still better than no clothes. So although we cannot practice all 5 precepts, we can practice, we can choose to practice at least one, that I will try my best not to break this rule in whatsoever condition or situation. And you become mindful of that, and you will be practicing with your full intention, with your full energy. And that is like you are wearing a cloth that is teared, or that is not complete, the new one, right? And that is, at least there is some covering too. And when we are practicing in that way, we can feel some form of still the confidence and the security. That's why in Thailand, when you are requesting for the precepts, it says Visung Rakhanataya. It means I observe the training of these precepts, choosing which one is suitable to wear, or suitable to practice. So it's not practicing all, but I choose to practice one of these, or three of these, or four of these, or five, all of them. So if we cannot practice 5, at least we can practice 4. If we cannot practice 4, we can practice 2. If we cannot practice 2, at least we can practice 1. So that's how the precepts is introduced in Buddhism. But again, as I said, if we can practice all the precepts, definitely it's like adorned by the beautiful clothes. That's like a prince. It is like a safeguarding you, and having practiced that also safeguards your future destination too. And that's why it's known as the Manussya Dhamma, means the teachings that makes you to be reborn as a human. Okay. And that's why the 5 precepts is regarded as very important precepts in Buddhism. And for the householders in Buddhism, Buddha taught to learn from give and share, and then practice the sila as the second, and then a development or cultivation of a wisdom as the third. But for the monastics, or those who have dedicated themselves to pursue the practice of a meditation and for the liberation, it starts from the sila, the practice of a sila. The purity of a sila always helps to concentrate more easily, and then developing the wisdom. Okay, so in terms of the first precepts, the panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami, which means I observe the training of abstaining from killing and harming any beings. So remember, I observe the training to abstain. Yeah, I observe the training to abstain from killing. So it's not a definite that you must or you shouldn't. Okay, you must not kill or you shouldn't kill. This is the rule. Not like that, but it's a training that you train to, because in Buddhism comes under what you do. You will be the person who is responsible for that action. So intention that you do defines your destination. So that's why in a killing, again, there are killing 2 types: the killing human beings or killing animals. And in order to kill one thing, it's not easy killing. Killing is not an easy job. Buddha gave 5 conditions, saying that pano means we have to know that this being is alive. Yeah? So we have to know, we are aware that he is, or that being is alive. And the second is pana sanyita, aware of alive. It's not just knowing that that being is alive. We must be aware that that being is alive too. Okay, and the third says vada chittam, means we have to generate this thought of a killing or thought of a harming. And in order to generate this thought of a killing or a harming, again, it's not easy. We have to have this hate. We have to have this resentment, ill will, and only then we will be able to generate this thought of a killing. And again, the hatred or the ill will or the resentment, again, are based on what? That we are not receiving as we wish to have it, or they are not doing as we want them to do, or they have got better than us what we should be giving and getting it, not like that. So whenever we have got this thought of a killing, first person is punished is ourselves by our own anger, hatred, and resentment. So that's the third one. And then the fourth is upakando. So that means your effort to act. So you put an effort to kill. And in that, again, put an effort to kill, here, not just the physical, but also using any weapons or tools to kill. And after doing so, Maranang died. So after, if he died only, then it is regarded as killing in Buddhism. So that's why killing is not easy job. Although we see it so easy, people are killing, but it's not easy. People are killing beings, even killing humans. It's not easy to kill. We have to know that they are alive. We have to know that we have to also generate this such anger and hatred, and only then we will be going to kill. And here, kill again. That's why when we kill, we already have this intention to kill. Because of that intention, intentionally killing, we have to receive the result of it. But what if we don't have the intention to kill? If we don't have intention to kill, but somehow that being is killed, then that doesn't count as killing in Buddhism. And in terms of the torturing, so torturing also comes under that precepts. So that's simply expressing the lack of kindness and lack of compassion. And this torturing, again, mainly towards to the animals. But having said that, it's not the animal, but even to the humans, we can see the tortures, torturing nature. And again, now the crisis that's taking place in the America, and also probably, hope not, coming to the Europe, simply based on that torture in the past. And the bullying also part of that too. So these are the things that we should avoid of practicing. And the practice of a precept, that's why the first precepts is in detail like that. So we need to train ourselves not to commit any of these, even a bullying or a harming or torturing or even killing. So these things we have to give up, rather than expressing or doing in that way. We have to develop so-called kindness. So the antidote for killing is the kindness or loving kindness. And in order to have a loving kindness, and again, we have to see the beauty and good things in others, and only then we can generate this loving kindness. The practice of first precepts of the 5 precepts is Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami, or I observe the training of abstaining from killing and harming any beings, is simply generating the loving kindness inside us towards ourselves and then to others. So killing here is not just about others, ourselves also counts here as well. Suicide, taking our own life, also count in that section. So this is the 5 precepts, the first precepts, and simply generating this loving kindness, so-called metta. And once we have developed this metta, then there will be no chance generating hatred or resentment or ill will towards one another, but there will be full of compassion, full of love, and that's how it generates the harmony in the family, in the society, and that also extends to the country and as a whole in the UK, in the whole world. So I offer this for the tonight's talk, and on the first precepts. Will short and following days I will try to focus on the following or the other 4 precepts if there is no other topics comes. So I end here. In a few minutes time we will have a chanting and guided meditations. I would like here to invite you to join with us, and those who are not joining with us for the chanting and meditation, good night, and wish you all the best. and hope you come back for the talk and the chanting and meditation. But I encourage you to continue listening for the chanting and meditation. So I end here. May you be happy, peaceful. May the Buddha bless you, and stay safe. Take care and good night. See you shortly. Thank you. Sadhu.